Hello everyone, welcome to the When at Work podcast. You're with your host Julian Leahy. Today I'm joined by the fantastic Jim Verquist and David Buck. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Happy to be here.
Awesome. All right, we're going to play a game of Jeopardy. And then after that, we're going to have a chat with David and Jim. Now I've noticed something. Okay, that's fine. All right, Jim, the categories, you could start things off. A Shakespeare play for openers, foreign, Inlets, nursery rhymes, that's business, and the evolution of M music. So it must be musical words that start with M, I'd guess. Which one?
I'm going to have to start with foreign.
Foreign for 100?
Yes.
Okay. In Portuguese, domingo is this day of the week.
Wow. That's tough. I will go with Saturday.
Let's take a look. Sunday is the answer. I'm not going to take any points off you. And one thing that's bothering me is I've got the scores back to front. Let's move everyone around. And David, actually, Jim, you're still in control. What would you like?
Okay. Well, let's do that's business then for 100.
That's business for 100. He started a book business from his home in 1873. His son William joined forces with G. Clifford Noble in 1917. I've got no idea. How about you?
Who is Mr. Barnes?
Let's take a look. Mr. Barnes.
Yes, nicely done.
So,
nicely done.
Wow,
Jim, that was great. All right, Jim, you're still in control. And let me just, while you're picking your category, I'm going to sort of move some things around. What would you like now?
Okay, let's business for 200.
Business for 200. In 1997, Taiko International moved to this UK territory in the Atlantic for tax purposes.
Oh, boy. Yeah,
Taiko moved to which UK territory? So what do we think? England, Wales, Northern Ireland, Scotland. One of those.
Right.
Or
let's
maybe,
do Wales. What is Wales?
Let's have a look. Oh, Bermuda.
No, Bermuda, yeah. That makes sense.
The Bermuda Triangle. I gave you a bum stare there by rattling off all those.
I thought
countries.
so, right.
Yeah. All right, David, what category would you like?
I'm going to jump back over to foreign for 200, please.
Foreign for 200. Let's have a look. In French, l'oseille is this. It sports les plumes. In French, l'oseille is this. It sports les plumes.
I am just going to say that my brain has absolutely no clue. So
I'm going to give you a clue, right? From high school French, plumes is either feathers, like plumage. I could be wrong. Do you have any idea? Let's have a look. You want to drop an answer?
I do not.
No, okay. A bird. Oh, I was barking up the right tree. All right, David, you're still in control.
Let's see. Let's go back to business again and see if I can try to redeem myself for 300, please.
Business for 300. An Italian clothier is known as the United Colors of this. United Colors of... And they have ads in the 80s with models from Africa next to models from China.
I'm still drawing a blank.
Jim, do you have any idea?
Yeah.
I was just going to guess the United Colors of England, but I think I'm way off. I think
no,
I'm on the wrong continent.
Unfortunately, no. This was huge in the days of the supermodels. United Colors of Benetton. I remember this one.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, my 80s brain is a little behind the times, I think.
Yeah, maybe it is. All right. Well, David, you're still in control. What would you like? Shakespeare for openers, foreign, inlets, nursery rhymes, that's business, or the evolution of music?
Let's try inlets for 100, please.
Inlets.
Good choice.
It's always a good choice. This largest Alaskan city lies at the head of Cook Inlet on the Kenai Peninsula. This largest Alaskan city.
I'm gonna say Anchorage, but if it's Juneau, I'm gonna hit myself upside the head.
Well, that's the only Alaskan city I know. I would say that as well. Let's have a look. Anchorage is correct.
Okay.
All right.
David's on the board. Well done, David. All right. What would you like next?
I'm gonna live on the edge and go with inlets for 200.
Whoa, inlets. He's liking the inlets. Big ships must pass through Admiralty Inlet to enter or leave this Washington State sound.
I'm gonna say Puget Sound.
Puget is correct. David's on a roll. 200. Well done, David. Would you like to keep going on inlets?
Yeah, but I'd almost want to stop right now because while I'm ahead. But yes, let's go with inlets for 300, please.
Okay. Faxa Bay in the North Atlantic is between this country's Snaefels and Reykjanes peninsulas. Okay, I'm going to give you a clue. They sound Dutch, but they could also be Afrikaans. Which is South Africa. So that's all I can suggest.
North Atlantic.
Where's North Atlantic?
Jim, if you give it a shot,
I'm just saying, but based on his clues, the North Atlantic, would not be south.
Was it a bum steer?
Yes.
No. I
would...
get what you were trying to say. It's one of those. It's noodling in the head, but I'm just not going to get there.
What about Finland?
I'll just say, it's either Dutch or.
Yeah. I was thinking.
You like the Netherlands?
Nope.
Jim, not confident enough to have a crack?
Well, we'll go with Netherlands. Why not?
Okay. Fortune favors the brave. Iceland.
Iceland.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Those
I
words.
should have thought of Bjork and.
Yes. Of course. I don't know where the North Atlantic is either. All right, David.
My apologies. I guess I would say my apologies to anyone watching who's sitting there going, why can't they just say Iceland?
Yes, well, there's always that thing when people get a bit offended when you don't know anywhere else other than your home country, which I'm guilty of. David, continuing on, what would you like? Shakespeare for openers, foreign, inlets, nursery rhymes. That's business, or the evolution of music?
I'm going to, let's try the evolution of music.
Okay, for 100.
Please.
This 60s Knights in White Satin band has another color in its name. 60s
Who
Knights.
are the Moody Blues?
Oh.
Wow.
Wow, David,
Wow,
you've got a
very
little
good.
bit of general knowledge tucked away there. Very good.
Underneath all this gray hair.
I had no idea. Better than no hair.
Let's go back to the evolution of music.
Evolution of music, 200.
All right.
1974's Mandy was his first top 40 hit, and it reached number 1. Ooh.
The lyrics are in my head.
Oh, my goodness. Mandy.
Yeah, the song's playing in my head, and I can't. Jim, if you know,
For some reason, I'm thinking Rod Stewart, but I don't know.
No,
I don't think so.
No.
Rod Stewart is 80s, and I think my music brain starts at like 1980s, so I'm out of luck.
All right, we're out of luck. Let's have a look.
Yeah.
Barry Manilow.
Yeah.
The man, the legend. Is he still around? About 105.
I think
He must
I'm
be.
not going to hasten to guess.
Oh, he probably still looks 40. And David, I think you're still in control. I'm going to give Jim a go soon.
Let's go back for 300 at
For
the
music?
And music. Yes,
Okay.
please.
This singer of Jack and Diane had to fight to record under his own name.
So that would be either John Cougar or John Cougar Mellencamp.
Okay, both of those are acceptable. Correct. Well done. All right. Come on, Jim. You can do it. David, you're still in control.
I'm going to go back. Let's live in the evolution of music for 400, please.
Okay, this will be difficult. In the 90s, it was Enter Sandman with this group. Not difficult.
The Metallica. That would be Metallica.
Metallica, David. Well done. All right, continuing on. What would you like?
Let's end it with 500.
500 music. In the 2000s, Makes Me Wonder got this group noticed. In the 2000s, Make Me Wonder. Makes me wonder. 2000s, Makes Me Wonder.
Where I phone a friend to ask my son.
Now, the 2000s was those kind of techno pop type bands.
Yes.
I just got nothing but M something. Maroon 5. Not like
Maroon 5.
Not that at all.
I would not have gotten that. Recognized the name, wouldn't have not gotten that. So
would not either. All right, let's give Jim control, just because we can. What would you like, Jim?
Well, let's do nursery rhymes for 500.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Nice.
Here we go round this bush on a cold and frosty morning. Here we go round the
merry-go-round.
Here we go round the... David, did you have any idea?
Mulberry bush?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. I wasn't sure if it was
very
the same
good
in the United States. All right, back to you, David.
Let's see. Let's try That's Business for 400.
That's Business for 400. In 1851, this company started using a logo with a man in the moon and 13 stars. Now it uses its initials. 1851.
I'm going to guess Proctor and Gamble.
Proctor and Gamble. I do not know. Let's have a look. Oh, David.
Wow, very good.
You should go on the real Jeopardy.
No, I should.
No
I think you should.
Thank you.
Because these are real Jeopardy questions. What would you like, David?
Let's finish up That's Business, please.
That's Business for 500. In 1927, this brand name first appeared on a Sears washing machine. Sears.
I think I have it.
I'm going to try a guess Tide.
Jim,
Tide detergent?
what's your guess?
I'll try Kenmore.
Let's have a look. Kenmore, Jim steals it.
Nicely done,
Jim, you are in control. What would you like?
Well, I know lots of categories that aren't going to work. Oh, wait, those are all the categories. Let's see. We'll do nursery rhymes for 100.
Nursery rhymes for 100. Let's... Peter was an eater of this. He kept his wife in its shell?
Huh. Peter.
It starts with a P, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Peter the Piper?
Not Peter Piper. I think this one's...
pies. Let's try pies.
David?
Certain kind of pies, though.
I think it's
Peter
Pumpkin Eater.
Oh, Pumpkin Eater. Okay.
I think pumpkin is correct.
Yeah, there we go.
David, what would you like?
Oh, let's go back to nursery rhymes for 200, please.
Nursery rhymes for 200. I had a little hobby horse, and it was dappled grey. Its head was made of pea straw. Its tail was made of...
hay.
Mm-hmm.
Jim?
That sounds good. Yeah, I would say hay
good.
Also.
I think David's got this one. Hay is correct.
Rhymes with gray.
Had to.
There you go.
I think I nailed the delivery there of Gray to really help. What would you like, David?
Let's go back to nursery rhymes for 300, please.
Nursery rhymes for 300. In a counting nursery rhyme, they were a courting in the kitchen and awaiting. Never heard this one.
I have not either. So great.
In a counting nursery rhyme. They were a courting in the kitchen and awaiting.
This must be a British nursery rhyme, huh?
Maybe. Awaiting. I'm thinking.
Awaiting
I've never heard of it.
Awaiting the day.
Awaiting the day. Let's take a look. Ooh, mate.
Okay.
All right, let's go over to Jim. What would you like?
Let's try. Let's try foreign for 300 and see
Foreign
if
for
there's any language that I
300.
recognize.
If Popeye spoke Hebrew, he'd asked for tered. It's got to be the Hebrew word for. Let's have a look.
Spinach.
Spinach. Well done.
All right. Nicely done.
What would you like,
Okay.
Jim?
At a pure dumb luck, I got 300 on foreign, so we'll go 400 for foreign.
Let's go foreign. Tradici is Italian for this symbol of bad luck. Tradici. Bad luck. What do they think is bad luck? Today means 3, right?
Yeah, I do not know.
Today means 3? So I would guess triangle. I don't know. You can have that if you want, or you can have your own guess. I just pulled that.
I think I'll pass.
Yeah, just pass. 13. I knew 13. It was something.
Okay. Well, you were on the right track.
Yeah.
So any of your Italian listeners are thoroughly disgusted.
They will.
With
There's a lot of people that would have known that one. None of us. All right, Jim, you're still in control.
Okay, let's do foreign for 500, and hopefully
Foreign
we
for
get
500.
to Asia.
In German, Berg is this topographical feature on a map.
I'll say mountain.
Mountain is correct. Well done, Jim.
Wow.
Jim is storming back
Nicely
with
done.
a big score there. He's 400 now, catching up. What would you like?
Okay, let's do. Boy, Shakespeare nursery rhymes are.
They're scary.
These are all terrible for me.
Shakespeare.
Yeah, let's do Shakespeare for 100.
Okay,
and
hopefully you'll get Romeo and Juliet. That's about the only one I would do. This play opens on the battlements of the castle at Elsinore as Bernardo asks, "Who's there?" So you've got Romeo and Juliet, Othello. That's about all I can think of.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to leave it to David.
Some night's day, summer night's day, or something. I don't know.
Is King Lear? Is that
Ooh.
a Shakespeare?
Could be.
So let's try that.
Who's just answered me? I can't see. Was it David or Jim?
David.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Hamlet, of course.
Hamlet. Okay.
All right, you're still in control, Jim.
I recognize that name.
Yes.
Okay, we'll do Inlets for 400.
Yeah, let's get out of Shakespeare. Inlets for 400. This Chilean city, whose name means Valley of Paradise, lies on a wide inlet of the Pacific.
Wow.
Valle de Paradiso or something. I don't know. How do you say valley in Spanish?
I'm going to skip this.
Anyone from California?
I'm from California, but...
There's got to be a few. There's got to be a few. We're going to skip this one.
Valparaiso.
Paradiso.
Yeah, okay. That was nowhere in my brain.
No, it's tough. We don't speak Spanish. David, over to you.
Let's do nursery rhymes for 400.
Everyone's avoiding Shakespeare. While January brings the snow, May brings flocks of pretty. These skipping by their fleecy dams. January brings the snow, May brings flocks of pretty, these skipping by their fleecy dams. Well, flocks has got to be I'd just be going off flocks.
I'm going to say birds.
Boyd's. Jim, do you want to have a crack just in case?
Skipping by.
Sheep. Oh, hang on. It does say fleecy.
Yeah, actually, sheep sounds pretty good to me.
Let's see who's got it. Lambs. We're going to go to Jim.
All right.
Okay.
That's fair
A little
enough.
bit of host
That's,
interference,
fair,
but that's all right.
Yeah, that's...
Well, yeah, but sheep are immensely more closer than birds, so yes.
Yes. What would you like, Jim? I'm thinking...
Okay, let's finish off Inlets then.
Okay. I reckon the Shakespeare might have been easier. North Carolina's Albemarle Sound is no deeper than 25 feet and is protected from the Atlantic by this island chain. North Carolina. Islands around North Carolina.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't know North Carolina had islands, so.
I know they've got beaches, nice beaches.
Yeah.
Islands.
Yeah, I have no idea.
It's not the only island I know is the one that was in Jaws, but that's off New York, isn't it? Martha's Vineyard.
I'll take a shot and
Have
say
a shot.
Barrier Island.
Which barrier?
Barrier Island chains. Yeah, I don't know.
The Outer Banks.
The Outer Banks.
All right, let's wrap things up. I think we've had enough of this. And Jim,
Thank you.
tell us about the exciting things you've done as far as Silicon Valley startups over in California.
Nice.
Yeah, I started my career doing 3 Silicon Valley startups, and one was Digital Think, which was a pioneer in the ear learning space. And another one, I got to work with a lot of the Xerox PARC and Apple luminaries. So like Larry Tesler was the guy who famously gave Steve Jobs the demo that eventually became the Macintosh. So he was the founder of Stagecast, and so that was quite a neat experience with some other Xerox PARC alumni.
Some big people there. Did you ever get the chance of meeting the man himself, Mr. Jobs?
No, I did not meet Steve Jobs, but I think Steve Jobs was not a nice person from all accounts. But what I do like about Steve Jobs is he seemed to be really talented at getting kind of the best out of people. He actually didn't. He would say this is the stupidest thing I've ever saw, but he didn't shut ideas down, and that's a big difference between saying stop working on this is stupid, and saying stop working on this to come back when it's better. And I think Steve Jobs was good at really pushing people to deliver their best, which is kind of cool.
You know what? If he had have been coming up today, people would have protested and said it was bullying, and it never would have been able to do what I think they were doing back then. Who knows? And Jim, you talk about corporate rebels. What is a corporate rebel?
So the corporate rebel is the employee that nobody pays attention to because their ideas sound crazy, and then they end up taking those ideas and changing the world. And so they unlike kind of the heroic leaders in big companies that get all the power and permission to work on innovative ideas, they bump into something that is that they believe could be big for the company, and they still do all of their regular job, but then alongside that, they also work on an unofficial skunkworks project that ends up becoming $1 billion breakthrough. So BlackBerry Messenger Service, Gary Claassen, he was a corporate rebel. Shuji Nakamura, the LED lighting revolution we have is all thanks to him, corporate rebel. The laser printer, Gary Starkweather. So when you look at where the big breakthroughs happen in big companies that are operating in mature industries, mostly they come from corporate rebels. They do not come from innovation teams.
And yes, innovation teams, why don't they work, Jim?
Yeah, innovation teams don't work because unlike, if you have a fast-growing company in a hot space, you're really launching R&D efforts, and the customers are, telling you exactly where they want you to go. And so there's a lot of good development in terms of creating those next kind of steps in what you're doing. But what innovation teams are different than R&D in that they go out and search, they go on the search for the next breakthrough. And it turns out that you don't go out and find breakthrough ideas; they find you. And so what happens is they use all these sexy models, blue ocean strategy or invincible company or lean startup, design thinking, whatever, to go on the search. But eventually, they're going to find something they fall in love with because they have to. Like they can't just keep waiting for big ideas to come and find them. And so the whole structure of how they work, they tend to be far away from the customers, far away from the problems. They're out looking for something big, and so they and they end up working on kind of the wrong thing. They have lots of time, lots of money, so they end up kind of doing stupid, obvious things. Whereas what's different about corporate rebels is the opportunities and problems find them, and they actually, by having nothing, they end up being very innovative because they don't have a lot of time, they don't have any money. And so they start off with a completely different approach and premise, and that actually is the problem.
And you talk about companies having a second growth engine. What on earth is that?
Well, every core business matures, and so if you want to sustain growth, you've got to create a new growth engine. And so you have your core business. So think of think of BlackBerry when their growth slowed and stalled out with the introduction of the iPhone. They needed to find a different platform, a different way to actually create growth, because the BlackBerry had kind of had its day, and it was a mature product that was losing market share. And so every businesses are built around core businesses, and eventually those mature, and you need to go out and find the next growth engine. And if you have $1 billion company, you need to find $1 billion growth engines, and that's quite a challenge.
And I guess you have to always be looking for these. I mean, BlackBerry they just had nothing. They just had no option because, their whole core was email, and the iPhone handled email just fine. What is Horizon 3 growth?
So Horizon 3 growth comes from McKinsey's concept of the three horizons of growth. And Horizon 1 is when you, that's really your core business, and you do all kinds of things to grow your core business, line item extensions, geographic expansion, all that kind of stuff. The Horizon 3 are the ones that are just kind of ideas in people's heads, and they've maybe you're starting to form projects, but nobody knows if these are going to become big or they're going to become duds. And so that's what companies really don't know how to do, is how do we find these Horizon 3 opportunities. And mostly they end up either having a visionary leader that comes in and says, I know the future and I'm going to just follow my lead. That tends to not work well. Or they have these innovation teams that, again, use these sexy innovation models that do lots of cool projects but never create growth. And what we're suggesting is that Horizon, the best way to unlock Horizon 3 growth is to tap the ideas, the big ideas that are sitting right inside the employees in your company, and creating some space for them to do something with it.
And what sort of companies do you work with at Engine2 us?
Engine2.us is Engine2 Innovation. Engine2 Innovation is about working with companies that are operating in mature industries where growth has stalled. So they need to go out and find that next growth engine. You're talking about companies with more than 1,000 employees. Because of the way the corporate rebel model works, is it's an opt-in model. So that means not every employee is ever going to be innovative, right? Like you can't get everybody to be an innovator in a big company, but you can get 10 to 20%. And so you have to kind of walk this adoption curve. And that's why you need a certain number of employees to turn it into a real innovation model instead of just a shot in the dark. And we're focused on tech-based companies because the people that tend to be corporate rebels and the ones that really kind of be early adopters and taking their ideas and running with them are more engineering types, more scientist types. And so we're focused on tech-based companies in mature industries more than 1,000 employees. And the other important thing is you need type Y managers. So, McGregor's Theory X, Theory Y managers Theory X are the managers who think, all their employees are stupid, lazy, and want to do the minimum amount of work for the most amount of pay. And you need a bunch of carrots and sticks. Theory Y managers actually think that people want to make a big difference in the world. Like they want to tackle challenging instinct problems and make a difference. And it's actually the kind of the dynamics within the organization that's holding them back. So it's important to have the right mindset on that.
What sort of time frame are these businesses looking at to develop this type of horizon?
Yeah, so what we do is we go into these companies and launch what's called a skunkworks program for corporate rebels. And what it means is that now employees actually have permission to work on these projects as corporate rebels. This isn't Google's 20% time, right? Like Google's 20% time was a complete failure. They never created a single growth, not even $100 million growth engine from that program. So, but the time frame is, you're looking, when you're looking at Horizon 3 growth, you're looking for kind of 3 to 5 years out typically. And so, but with this model, what happens is within 60 days, you're trying to get, between 2.5 and 4% of your employees actually opting in and becoming corporate rebels. So these are people that have ideas that they've always wanted to do something exciting. They have these big ideas that they've been frustrated by that they haven't had a chance to work on. You get them going within 60 days. And then within 12 months, you get 10 to 20% of your employees doing this. And at that point, it becomes a self-sustaining capability. And you're starting the early signals of growth engines are starting to pop up on the radar. Just the way it works, more the way that the VCs, the venture capital industry works, which is venture capitalists don't bet on particular entrepreneurs, particular ideas. They sit back and wait for a bunch of crazy entrepreneurs to try out all kinds of crazy things and see which ones start to gain traction. And what the corporate rebel model does, it allows you to create that same kind of innovative ecosystem right inside your company, so that you can the good projects bubble up by themselves, and then they get accepted as official projects, as opposed to having to pick them at the idea stage or particular people who are going to be the innovators.
Yeah, it sounds great. And you can sort of do it in a safe environment where you're not sort of gambling anything and just seeing which seems to gain traction.
Yeah.
Let's jump over to David. David, you wrote a book called Time Optimized Life. When did you write it and why did you write it?
So it's actually going to be coming out officially next year. So I'm in the pre-marketing phase of things. But I wrote it based upon work that I do with clients in my business. When I start to work with people on their individual or team time management, I've got an assessment tool called the Time Management Analysis. Helps me gauge the foundation on how I'm going to work with them, either individually or collectively as a team. And that actually, from the data I started to collect there, I saw certain patterns that groups and people were taking that were impacting and affecting their time. So actually the assessment became the outline for the book, and it really is an idea to help take an individual through a process where we jettison the term time management, because I feel time management is a reactive process. It's usually something that someone's coming alongside and saying, I have to solve this problem. Management can also be managing something instead of, and that can be good or bad. And so I want to flip the script for it to be more optimization, where it's a proactive approach. I'm trying to anticipate the time management challenges or time challenges that are coming up to me with a continuous process that allows me to always improve upon what I'm doing and evaluate, but then optimize my time instead of manage it.
What are some of these time management challenges that people face, and who are you targeting with this book?
So it's targeted predominantly for people who are in career. So those professionals, business professionals, whether it's person just starting their career or the people who are a leader who wants to take their team through it. But the biggest challenge that people have from their use of their time is the concept of procrastination. And it cuts across the board from anyone in the early part of their career, even to people who are retired and in post-career life. So that, to me, the data indicates that. And procrastination is usually a trigger because it's not clear defined goals. What is usually a project should be broken down into a series of smaller tasks. And so I find when I work with clients and as I counsel through the book, it's about you. It's nobody else's issue. So when you procrastinate, you own it. You own solving it. Doesn't mean you can't ask others to help you figure that out. But ideally, it's taking what you're doing and breaking it into smaller chunks so you see positive progress.
And are you an advocate for doing one thing at a time, or doing several things at a time and completing them? I guess, and the normal view of multitasking. What's your take on that?
I am totally against multitasking. I've got there's a lot of data in the book that I reference. I prefer the term microtasking. People who say they can multitask, when I unpack it with them, those who say they do it well, usually it's because they're able to shift their focus quickly from one task to another. And so I tell people, regardless of what you're doing, you have to give yourself 100% of that task at that moment. And if you're going to switch quickly, great. That's not multitasking, that's microtasking. And I also use the analogy, particularly for people to say, let's say this, a musician, I think, is probably about as close to multitasking as possible, particularly someone who can sing and play an instrument at the same time. That takes hours and hours, hundreds and probably thousands of hours in order to be able to do that. And I'm going to say, so are you going to spend hundreds of thousands of hours at home so that you can go to work and look at email while your boss is trying to do a staff meeting? Good luck with that.
And in a nutshell, what are some steps that somebody could take to time optimize their life?
So I break things down into 5 distinct categories. It's planning, it's organization, task management, focus, and personal care. The easiest place to start is actually personal care, because as I identify 3 main areas in personal care to help you with your time optimization, and that's sleep, it's taking a break during the day, and it's exercising regularly. So the first thing I just counsel clients is try to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep. That's what all the main medical places, the Mayo Clinic, the CDC, you can go to any reference. It's between 7 to 9 hours. So if you're only sleeping 5 hours a night, try to go to 6 and try to move to 7. And then the second thing is just take a break during the day. Step away from whatever you're doing. Go do something else. That doesn't mean to go to social media. It means go let your brain experience something new for 15 minutes of the time. You come back, you'll be more energized. The exercise piece, I try to tell everybody that's easy, but that seems to be difficult for people to want to devote dedicated time. So if you're just trying to figure out how to improve your ability to use your time, just sleep more and take a break every once in a while.
Awesome. And you've got a time optimization summary report on the website. I've put the link in the show notes if you want to get involved in that. And what do people do if they want to get hold of your book?
So it's actually also on the website. So if they click on that link to take the assessment, I offer the time management analysis. I offer anybody a free assessment. So I'll send them back. It kind of gives them an idea of where they identify things. And to get the book, to pre-order the book, it's really available at any online, major online place right now, from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, which we talked about earlier in the question, Target, Walmart, anywhere that fine books are sold. Right now, domestically in the U.S., outside the U.S., that'll be added a little bit later. You can go there or just go to the website when you're taking your time management analysis. Then you can click on the link there on the website to find the place you want to pre-order the book from there.
Fantastic. And any CEOs of a certain size looking to shake things up and get a little bit of innovation, Jim, how do people get in touch with you? Go to Engine2 Innovation, which is in the description. And do they have a call with you or somebody else?
Yes, the best way to get started is to just book a 45-minute slot with me, so we can kind of discuss the challenges and the situation, and then that's how to get the ball rolling.
Get the ball rolling, indeed. Well, I'd like to thank David Buck and Jim Verquist. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you. It's a lot of fun.
Thank you. A lot of fun. Very, very fun. Enjoyable. Thank you.
No worries. Thanks for listening.